I'm very critical of the Efap because, again, for the most part, I always think that their so-called debates have an ulterior agenda. And unfortunately, as we're going to see with the Attack of the Clones discussion, that's verified. But they had a very long discussion on The Phantom Menace. They were supposed to debate the prequels. Are the prequels well written or are they not well written? And I actually found, even though, again, I'm pro Phantom Menace, I did find that Glib and Stitch, who are taking the opposing side, did bring up a number of fair points. And I think Anomaly and Rick Worley, who took on the essentially pro-Lucas side, I think sometimes faltered. And this one is a little bit out of chronology, so this will be sort of independent, because I think at a certain point, Anomaly challenged them to say, well, the first film, Star Wars, 1977, that also had a lot of things not explained. But I think Glib essentially made a kind of below-the-belt hit, and I just don't think it was legitimate, again, in my eyes. We're going to hear them go back and forth a little bit, and Anomaly's going to say, well, the Empire wasn't really explained in the first film, and I think...
Just say that you don't know. Trade Federation are protesting the taxes on their trade routes. They want either less money or more money, whatever, on their... Again,
but you don't know.
The whole bargain with Palpatine is, again, what?
So you don't know. You're saying it's this or this. I don't know. Why can't we have a point that you don't?
What are you talking about?
You don't know what they want. Just admit that you don't know what the Trade Federation wants.
The Trade Federation wants money. They enforce taxation.
Okay, where is that in the movie?
That's what they're doing.
It's about taxation Trade Federation routes. That's what they want. So how does that go into their deal with Sidious?
What do you mean, how does it go into their deal?
What are they getting out of their deal with Sidious?
Money. They're trying to make money. He's telling them that if they go and they occupy this planet, if they occupy the planet, then they can control how it's taxed.
And what does Naboo produce?
Wait, no, that's ever
what
explained
is
in
the
the
trade
movie,
route? It's not in the movie.
I don't...
We don't know the resources that are being traded. We don't know where they're going. We don't know Naboo's role in that trade, or if they produce something.
And we didn't know... All right, can I stop you right there? When, let me just give you an example from A New Hope, all right? We are told in the title crawl, right, that the Empire is the evil Empire, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Why was the Empire evil? Now
because they wanted to take over the Republic.
I know what you're going to say.
Because they want to take over the Republic.
Finish. No, I'm talking about New Hope here. Just stay with me here.
Because they want to kill the rebellion.
But why is the Empire evil?
Yeah, we don't know why Emperor Palpatine is evil, if that's what you're asking. Yes, we don't know exactly.
Well, why is the Empire evil?
Yeah, in the New Hope, just the New Hope without Empire. Because they want to control all the planets without giving them freedom. They want the regional governors to be in control, and the regional governors are all owned by the Empire. So all the people that disagree with that
isn't beneficial to the galaxy.
Are you saying that empires are good? Are you pro-empire?
Are they...
Anomaly, in real life, are you pro-empire, authoritarian?
No, but
so then why is it good? So why is authoritarianism good?
It's bad just because it's called the Empire.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so you agree with the Empire's? Do you agree with any of the Empire's methods being moral?
Oh, we see the Empire being extremists, and we do learn that they need to be toppled, but we don't see why.
A lot about the Empire is not explained in the first film, and I agree with him. I'll do stuff on that to show that's actually pretty true, so the attack is legitimate. Although I don't think Anomaly is thinking through his arguments, because then you could just make the argument that all of these trilogies are pathetic and are not well written and they're ridiculous and it's all moronic, etc., etc. Again, challenging the OT is fine, but then somebody could just pull that card and be like, well, then you're kind of conceding they're all kind of written like in a very poor manner. So I don't think he thought through the attack. But in terms of Glib's counterattack, I thought that, wait a minute. And you can see it the way he worded it, saying, well, in Anomaly, in real life, are you... Wait a minute. That has nothing to do with the issue, and you cannot bring that into a debate. Let us say the extreme. Let us say Anomaly is pro-fascist, and now he's standing up to prequels. That's certainly alarming and certainly disturbing. Does not affect the content of his arguments. That is the definition of ad hominem. Whatever person really thinks or feels is not in question. It's a complete genetic fallacy to say, well, we know where he's coming from. Well, he has dark skin. Of course he's for affirmative action. She's a woman. Of course she's going to start complaining about sexism, etc., etc. Oh, he's an immigrant. Of course he's going to hate Trump. hey, guess what? There could be actual rational reasons to be against something, even if your identity, quote, has a self-interest. That is not an issue. That should never be invoked in a debate. And Glib, again, I'm not against Glib. I think he's a good person. I think he is very knowledgeable in many things, but I think I've heard him over and over again in a lot of these debates, whether Smudcast, Efap, or other things, and it's just he always comes in thinking he knows way more than he really does, and he does not. And he thinks he knows these films very well, and sometimes clearly he does not, and he just presupposes he has the right answer, and he does not. And it just seems like once you start going against him, if he thinks he's very confident on a point, he's going to pull in every single trick to undermine you, and it's like, that is not the issue. The issue is debate the issue. That's it. Now, Anomaly did sort of leave this open by bringing the politics of Star Wars, which is clearly anti-fascist. That's fine, but again, then Glib should have fought back in a much more subtle manner, saying, whoa, are you invoking the real-world politics? And at least giving him fair warning. But to immediately go, well, I guess you're pro-imperialist, I guess you're pro-authoritarian, is like, that would be illegitimate in any debate. That's ridiculous. That is clearly not what Anomaly said. There's not even a hint that's what his position was. He did screw up by just making this general statement about empires. Okay, that was a little silly. He should have specified he meant in the film, and only the film. He's talking about how imperialism is not really completely discussed in detail, and so it's vague. And if you do look at the first film, it actually is vague. If you actually think it through, all we see is, the Imperials fighting this rebellion. We don't know who really is the good guy and who's the bad guy. You could make a revisionist case. And believe me, you may be shocked. There are actually pro-fascists who looked at the first film and thought it was praising fascism and imperialism. So it's actually not completely crazy to put into doubt that everyone thinks the OT is flawless. It's not. But whatever we think about these films, it just feels like you want to be careful when you start mounting the political debates. I have no problem with those, but that is not what they agreed to. They agreed we're going to be discussing the aesthetics of the prequels, and they ended up only talking about the Phantom Menace. That was the ground rule. If you don't like those ground rules, that's fine, but that's a separate debate for another time. I think just switching, as he did, cleverly saying, hey, in real life, are you this? Whoa. Whatever he is, communist, fascist, feminist, sexist, Scientologist, who cares? I don't care if he's a Christian. I don't care if he's a Muslim. What does that have to do with the issues? So, I don't hate Glib, and I'm not here to demonize him or to, put this out in the internet and, discredit him. I'm just saying he just made an incredibly fallacious move. And he's smart enough to know that was completely fallacious. And the way he's even talking, he's very in a jokey style. I'm sorry, I'm just not one of those. If you invoke fascism, you're invoking a lot of ugly things. So either you better know what the hell you're talking about, and clearly here he does not know what he's talking about. So don't do that unless you really know what you're speaking of. And I find him just too flippant on the subject. Like, whenever the issue of fascism, he thinks he knows what he's talking about. I'm sorry, I don't think he's done the hard work to say these things without, a lot of qualification. But that's just my opinion of the situation. You can go back and see whether contextually, because again, I admit that Anomaly and Rick were not answering the question at points, but I don't see they're not answering the question sometimes. License is such a direct hit over exceedingly, vague point, at least to me. All right, well, I'll do more on this debate, but I just thought, again, we needed to clarify this because it was a little, I think, over the edge. And again, I do like Anomaly, but I do think he made a lot of problems with his arguments. But I don't see how that licenses what Glib did, at least to me. Just clarifying, where people stand before we go through the debate. All right, it's been Star Wars Analyzed on the ethics of debating the Phantom Menace. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.